Welcome back. We are here on a Friday, Q-Tip Fridays. I'm in my beautiful 2017 Lamborghini SV. My baby, you know what I'm saying? This is one of the babies that don't get put up for sale. I don't even think about it. Nah, all right? So this topic today is a very controversial topic, of course. Topic that, obviously everybody's going to have their own opinion on. Obviously everybody's going to have, their own views on it and that kind of stuff. Hey, by all means, it's all good. Whatever works for you, you know what I'm saying? But like I always say, make sure you have an opinion, but also be able to back up that opinion and don't just be talking just to fucking talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you say that this works and that works, make sure that you're fucking taking full advantage of it and actually making it work for you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, today's topic is called big trading accounts versus small trading accounts. Like, what are my thoughts on it? What are my viewpoints? How I actually look about going about both of those type of accounts. Very different, you know what I'm saying? Very different mindsets overall. Very different strategies that is needed to actually grow both accounts. Very different, let's say, where are you in life to even like grow it in some kind of way? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like all those viewpoints matter. All those points matter when it comes to those two types of accounts. Okay, so when it comes to a small account, I feel like you have to apply a lot more skills. Definitely a lot more skill is involved to grow a small account than a big account, in a sense, because with a small account, you have smaller capital, you have smaller room for error, you have smaller leverage, like your margin is smaller, everything's just smaller, and you got to pretty much make that shit fucking work. And that's why if a smaller account was easier to build, then a lot of people would be millionaires and a lot of people would be making just a great amount of money every single year. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to grow a small account. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a lot easier to grow a big account because the big account, you could put in, let's say like one order and just make it fluctuate, have a sloppy entry, sloppy this, sloppy that, not really care about the drawdown. Like, you care less when it comes to a big account. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, if you were trying to swing trade and that kind of thing. If you're trying to trade as aggressively like how you would a small account, as far as like, let's say, putting more on the line, more risk, more aggressiveness when it comes to a big account, like how you would a small account, since it's smaller capital, your hits are going to be bigger on a big account if you're using the same kind of mindset like how you was when it comes to the small account. You know what I'm saying? So the big account, when I'm talking about when it comes to big accounts, I'm talking about, it could be, let's say, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 100,000. All those I'll consider as big accounts, especially like when it comes to 50K plus. Making 2%, 5% a month, that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's easy with those kind of accounts, because you can literally just trade on like an H4 time frame and just pretty much like let shit fluctuate. Don't really care about drawdown, and just, eventually go and profit based on your analysis, but it's not going to be as precise and skill driven like how it comes to a small account. A small account, everything has to be on point. As far as your entries, you got to pretty much make sure they're precise to the point that you see minimum drawdown, but you're able to pretty much take advantage of your leverage and know how to actually scale that account to the point that you can make, a couple hundred here, a couple hundred here, a couple thousand here, a couple thousand there, based on how you trade and based on your skill set level. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to a big account, the skill set level doesn't have to be so precise, so on point, so just fine-tuned when it comes to a big account. Like, you could get to a point that, you're analyzing less because, you have all this room to breathe when it comes to a fluctuating position. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those things matter when it comes to growing a big account, because You don't really need much. As far as like, it's just, you kind of slack more when it comes to a big account, I feel like. You literally slack more when it comes to a big account. With a small account, you have to be on it. Like, you have to be just on point as far as how I see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done, let's say like I've done big accounts. Like I internal transferred like some profits. Like I had a bunch of profits in my broker this one time. I put it, I invested, I started my account with 600K. I grew that to 1.8 mil, and then I lost 300,000. Like, what the fuck? Because I got to a point that I started analyzing less. I started doing, you know, I started getting sloppy with my analysis. Yes, it still went from 600,000 to 1.8 million, but then how could I make myself lose 300,000? I just got sloppy with it. I just started caring about my level of precision a lot less because it was a big account. It was an account that had so much room to fluctuate that I just like to stop being as disciplined. You know what I'm saying? I've done small accounts with like I did what, $1,000 to 74,000, $1,500 to like 50,000. And those accounts take discipline, it takes precision, it takes all these things because you're not working with much. You know what I'm saying? And what you have to work with, you got to make sure that shit is working the best possible way that it's effective to actually grow the account. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just a bit more skill involved when it comes to growing a $1,000 account, a $500 account, like all those things. And the craziest part that people forget is you could have $100 account and that shit can grow to $1 million. It's physically or technologically possible or technically possible to make that happen. Once you build your account to, let's say, $100 to $1,000, okay? Obviously, it's going to take you longer to actually build it to that amount based on the amount of leverage and based on the amount of margin that you have inside the account, and you can't really flex the account like how you want to because it's only $100. Obviously, it's going to take you some time to get to $1,000, you know, unless you're going balls deep and just saying, fuck it, one order, one risk. Like, it's all these things are possible. Is it smart? Not really, but at the same time, it is possible. So think about it. If I said that I did $1,000 to 74,000 in a week, all right? Imagine if a person did $100 to $1,000, then they have all rights to still do the $1,000, or they have the possibility to still do the $1,000 to the 74,000, like how I did. So it's kind of like if I grew $100 to $1,000 and then $1,000 to 74,000, technically I've only invested $100, but it took a lot of skill to get to the point that I'm growing that account as far as I'm upping my lot size as I'm gradually growing the account. Like, all these things have to happen. All these things have to happen in a small account. With a big account, like, I'm telling you, like, you just, like, you're not as on your shit because you're in, like, a maintaining stage when it comes to a big account. You know what I'm saying? Like, with a big account, like, you'll settle for, let's say, 10% a month, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of shit. But when it comes to growing an account, you're in the growing stage. You can't risk or you can't fuck up as much like how you could on a big account. So like, before you even like start your journey, that kind of shit, like, understand where you are in your journey. Are you at a point that you're in your growing stage, or are you at a point that you're in your maintaining stage? You know what I'm saying? Like, those two things matter. Are you in your growing stage, or are you in your maintaining stage? Which means that if you're in your growing stage, you're not going to be able to actually, you know, you're not going to want to risk as much per trade, or, you know, you're not going to risk losing this amount of profits or that amount of profits. Like, that's why, like, a lot of times, like, when people get to a point that they tell me that they're trying to grow their account, but they're risking like a certain percentage and that kind of stuff. Like, it's kind of hard to actually get to a point that you're getting into that maintaining stage, which means that when you're in that maintaining stage, you're just, you know, you're making some profits here, profits there, but you're not like so aggressively trying to grow that account. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not like at a point that if you lose 10% 10, 20% of the account, like you're gonna fucking go crazy as hell. When it comes to the maintaining stage, you a lot of times will risk 10%, 15%, 20%. Like I've done that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have a $100,000 account, I'm risking. I'll be so down to risk $15,000, which is 15%. At times even